everyone, welcome back to the Dragon. So this is obviously, as Sophie may have explained, our Dragon coaster. That is one of the oldest rides on the park.
As mentioned earlier, we have the camera, which is up there, which we can play to make silly faces. I didn't actually know it existed before I started doing this experience, so it's actually taught me quite a bit. You can see kind of here on this side, we have like this metal latch here. That is basically like the override for the lap bars. So if there was like a situation and they needed to get the guests out and the lap bars were still locked on, they have this metal lever here, which will basically just release them. So yeah, that's our little coaster here. I'm not sure which coaster this one is, but we can see from this board here which coasters are actually currently out on track. So we have coaster 1 and 2, which is strange. The last few times that me and Liv have done this experience, it's always been 2 and 3. So now coaster 1's out on the track as well.
Oh, it's finally out.
It's always. And that just means that the third coaster will be in the main display, which hopefully we'll see shortly. Yeah, what else am I going to say? Nothing about it. Yeah, the other coaster that's here, it will be round by the courtyard scene. So if we go into our first dark area, we can see that as well, and we'll know which one out of 1 and 2 is going to be there. But we can only ever have 2 trains out on the track at one time. Obviously, it's not a very long ride, and normally when you're getting ready to set off, the other coaster's right behind you. I think Liv spoke about this the other day, about how there's just not enough track for it to have 3 on, and it just would end up rolling back, and we don't obviously want that to happen. So 2 is safe, so we're going to stay with 2. So this is our maintenance bay here, and we can see train number 3 is currently on this piece of track. So this is quite a cool place. So this is where our maintenance workers actually kind of live. You can kind of see all of their repair kits back here. But yeah, you can step over this piece of track. Feel free to take as many photos as you like. It's obviously quite a cool segment that most people don't normally get to see. So yeah, and as we come down this bit, we can kind of see everything that they've got set up in their area. So we have their own set of CCTV cameras as well. This is just so if they notice anything that's gone on with the ride, then they also are able to stop it. I think we can see the e-stop button a little bit later on for them particularly. But this is kind of like their area where they have all their bits to kind of like repair the ride. I don't know if you want to say anything. You know more about this than I do.
And here we have so when the Dragon, you'll probably see there's like a hole that gets kind of blocked off. So the Dragon, there's actually a bit of coaster, a bit of track that will come round. And because there is actually no electronics in this part here of the coaster, so it has to be pushed through. It's quite a manual job. If you do come back, you'll be able to see here. Taken out of this area. There is a beam just up there, and it'll be lifted up, and then we can actually go back towards Sophie and we can look at the window where it would have to fly through. Obviously, again, not fly, just be crane operated. And so it's just on your right hand side. That window there just looks like a random shutter, but it's actually a window. So if you ever needed to get anything through, it would go through there. We've also got our electronics kind of panel here, so everything related to the lighting, the shows kind of going around the ride, that is where it's all operated from. So again, obviously we're not allowed to go into that and look at all the wires, but as you can imagine, if anything was to go wrong, they've got all the equipment to make sure that it's going to go right. So one kind of fact that we do have is you can obviously see this big wheelchair here. If we had a guest on the Dragon who was non-ambulant, we would pop them on this to get them down. Before, the tyres were really small, and it wasn't obviously as safe as the big tyres would be. You can just sit straight on the wheelchair, and we can take you straight down. So it's a lot more effective to get our guests off and on the ride.
Just a really random question. I don't know if you guys will be able to answer it, but
try.
Do you guys still sell the Lego chips?
Thank you.
I love those things.
We actually had them in our staff area.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they
God.
used to be sold here.
They used to be here, and then they stopped.
And
Then they moved them to the.
Don't they have them in the burger place in
They
the city?
no, they got rid of them there. I'm fairly certain.
We've never had them because literally we've tried every time and we've never had them.
Yeah. And now.
I had them years ago, and I love them.
It's still a very popular thing. I see a lot of comments on like Instagram, Facebook, and so like, where's the Lego from? Yeah.
They're like, I'm having them for my lunch right now.
Yeah.
Huge Lego fan.
Yeah, we did have coming for lunch every day, actually.
We come out towards Merlin's lab, but we're actually going to go left towards the kind of dinner scene towards your head.
Oh wow.
In here. And we'll get to a space that we have a little bit more space to kind of like look.
Holy hell.
So yeah, we have got coaster number 2 here, which means that currently in the station is coaster number 1. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about kind of like the Lego models that we have along the ride. So within the whole ride area, we have over 130 Lego models. As you can imagine, a lot of them are within this storytelling scene. From all of these models, they make up about 972,000 Lego bricks. So close to 1 million, but not quite there yet. There were 20 model makers and 10 animators that actually worked on all of these models. And it took 2 years to kind of like build them all. There are quite a lot of models that actually like move within this ride. So we have, obviously we have kind of like the jesters here that will wobble about. We have the guy in red who'll turn his head. The dragons kind of like wave at you as well. But apart from the actual animatronics, we have some different effects. So for example, the archer up there behind us, you can see kind of like the wires coming out of his back. That's because he has an air effect. So when you're obviously on the ride, it's acting, it's going around, and he's kind of like alive, you'll kind of like hear or feel the air from his like arrow being shot. We have this in a few other places as well. So like the monks in the second scene, one of them obviously has the cup up to his mouth and then he pulls it down, there's air that comes out. In Merlin's lab, he has his little potion bottles and now have air blown into them to give a bubbling effect. So those are some of the effects that we have around the ride area. These kind of where like the potion jars are that have the other air effects that I was talking about. There's quite a lot of things that's like within this room. Like I feel like on this ride, you can kind of, every time you go on it, there's something different that you notice about it. One of the things that I kind of like noticed a little bit more recently is with this guy in particular, the torturer, he actually has little red white armpit hair sticking out, which really made me giggle when I realised it. I feel like there's just things that you could spend so much time in here and notice things that you have like never seen before. And that's one of the cool things about this ride, is it keeps kind of like
surprising you.
Yeah, and surprisingly that we did for this, because it is so nostalgic for a lot of people. And we can walk a little further down and we'll go to our famous red dragon.
Smoker much? I'm glad they've recently, you know, fixed the whole proper smoke thing, because last year he wasn't doing any of it at all.
Yeah, but we fixed it now. I feel like he smokes more than ever. But this is our famous red dragon. So earlier on I talked about kind of like how many models and Lego bricks we used to create the ride. And I said it was about 972,000. The red dragon takes up just over 1,500 of those, because he is quite a big guy. So he is 2 separate models. He's got his front half and then he's got his tail. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry on behind the scenes. It's just kind of like that section and that one. But within his whole model, he has 8 different animatronic parts, which range kind of like from his hands, his jaw, his head, his neck, and then obviously the different parts within his tail. His front part weighs about 150 kilograms, which is crazy to think about, and even just the tail alone weighs about 70. So he is very big, to say the least. And he's very, very cool. And I do love him. I think he's like one of the best bits about the whole ride. It's kind of like you can see through his jaw when he's kind of like going around and acting, he's opening his mouth, and you can see kind of like the wiring at the back of it. And obviously when his eyes are on, he has like the little lights that are in there, which is very, very cool. One of the bits that I'll point out to you a little bit later on is when we can see the back of his tail. If you look very, very closely, you can kind of see the Lego model doesn't go all the way around his tail, it just does the front half.
And one thing that we did find is, especially when building the dragon and many things, excuse me, quite a lot like little bits and pieces of animals, and it was like history as well, so it's all been kind of taken away to look at too.
Focus up. There you go. Oh, no way we're going in this bit. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ah.
end up like walking like out of the water and like come up a bit, so we need to watch something like hit our heads in the track. Don't want any injuries. But it's definitely really, really cool because like it's been here for so long and it's like one of those things that's like, I can't believe I'm actually down here. It's just like, I'm like, is this illegal? It feels like a little bit illegal.
One thing you probably were when you were younger is the viewing platform used to be right above us. However, they decided to move it across due to a lot of people trying to drop things down onto the ride. So that's why it's then had to be pushed over a little bit so it doesn't actually come onto the ride anymore. But yeah, feel free to touch this part of the track. It's quite a cool photo when you get it. If anybody wants any group photos, Sophie and I can take them for you.
We've got like a really photo point just down there at the end.
Yeah, we've got a...
Sweet.
So we can like walk down a little bit as well.
Gotta admit, it's a surprisingly clean track. When I did this on Soar, oh my god, I was like black afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, throw it while you can.
Track.
I to say they come up. It's like mad how close this is to your head now. And it's definitely how you can still carry on touching it.
I wasn't expecting to come out here. I thought it would be a possibility, but I wasn't actually expecting it.
We like to keep the secrets. Oh, Kieran, I know exactly what you're saying.
Before they trimmed the trees back on Vampire, I hit my leg on a log, on one of the branches. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. Because I'm quite tall, but now afterwards, obviously, I think they came talking afterwards. And then all the trees got cut back. So I'm not saying it's but I think a lot of people might have that problem because the trees are really encroaching and when they did like the cut up on it, so that's probably trimmed it all back.
Well, we have to be, because we're right next to the Windsor Great Park, a lot of our trees belong to them as well. So obviously they've got a lot of history behind them. So that's why you'll see a lot of, especially across the whole park, the planning commission is very involved.
Look, we've got a pheasant over there, do you see?
Oh, cute. You'll never get a picture in the middle of a track, would you? Yeah, that's so cool.
This is mad.
Yeah.
Arms up, arms up.
Team photo in the track.
Oh, he's just here. My guy.
No, I've never noticed.
So this part of the track, you can actually hear it, is this part of the track is actually live at the moment. So as you can see here, when the dragon, the front of it gets up, it'll go straight up the lift hill and speed up. So you'll probably notice you'll hear the people screaming at the front. And then you get when you're at the back and you hear the door screams begin. I thought you would have done that.
Yeah. But I didn't know that business, travel, tourism and music.
So as you can see here, these are our emergency lighting system. So what you'll see is if the ride needs to be stopped, obviously in the dark, a little bit more like now, all these would go, they'll be flashing to kind of show the exit routes, which would be that route there. Or if you're further down the dragon, the door we actually went through, that's another fire exit door. So it's always to make sure there's always a piece of lighting going on. And the lights now are actually our kind of, if the emergency lights need to turn on, this is the first setting that would be on. And then obviously we've got the show lights. When they start, that's when all your flashes and start happening and everything starts going off and these start moving.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, you can kind of like see the back of the dragon tail. It is obviously like a little bit far away, but you can kind of see the mechanics behind it. I feel like it's like I kind of like never really like clocked it. So like not a lot of people that actually physically on the ride think, oh, let me turn around quickly. But yeah, I think it's one of those that you can be here or just look back when you are on the ride and see that, how it's working. Obviously, depending on where you're sat, it'll probably still be moving about as well, so you can see it in action, which I think is quite a cool thing to like maybe look out for next time you're on the ride. I feel like it would definitely be if you're sat like towards the middle of the train and you definitely see it moving from behind you, which I think is quite cool.
Lovely. Is there any other questions at all? We're going to kind of head towards back the booth now. And if you do have any further questions, feel free to get us. Yeah, of course.
Maintenance bay shot.
Remember that conversation.
Never really get to see it like this. Yeah.
When DC was open, there was a mini thing with a projected case and a tree line. Really freaked me out when I was there, and it was dark. And it just started speaking when I was about sea life.
So it never gets turned off,
Yeah, it's all done by